Long before men even arrived, after having fought Morgoth the Valar, who was safe in Valinor, offered the elves, the new children of Ilúvatar, who arrived barely a few years earlier, a place to live in their continent. Most agreed to join them and sailed for the Great Sea to reach Armen. However, some of the elves, upon arriving at the Hifeglir, decided it was not the safest place to live in. They called themselves the Nandor and travelled along the Anduin for many years before disappearing from the view of any other elf. A few hundred years later, upon hearing of their elven friend's return, notably Fingal, the Nandor decided to join them once again and settled in Lothlorien, the land of 7 rivers between the Blue Mountains and the River Gellion. There they were called the Laquendi, or the Green Elves, known for their simplistic ways of life but keen ability to camouflage themselves in case of attack. Hence the name Green Elves. Many wandered in their lands hearing their singing voices without ever seeing them, but Morgoth quickly tried to invade Beleriand and Fingal could not defend himself or his people. He called on the Laquendi for help, but their simple weapons were no match for Morgoth's armies, and their numbers rapidly shrunk because of this battle. Cursing this war, the Laquendi decided to hide themselves permanently and using their camouflage skills even in front of Fingal. They disappeared for many long years, before finally showing their faces to Beren and Lúthien on Tol Galen, for they had much respect for the couple and their many deeds. The few remaining Laquendi then joined the Sylvan Elves, who themselves settled in Orisian and Lothlorien around the same time as other elves settled in Mirkwood. Lothlorien's first lord was Amdir, however the Galadrim, Lothlorien elves, lived there before he ever took reign. Amroth, his son, then succeeded him but proceeded to leave Lothlorien after Nimrindel, his lover, said that she would only marry him if he brought her to a peaceful land. He vowed to find this promised land and later made arrangements to return to Valinor. However, upon the journey the two were separated and his long search for her was unsuccessful. He eventually headed towards the Sundering Seas alone. In the Second Age, after being revealed that Anatar and Sauron were the same person, the Dark Lord decided to launch an attack on Orisian. Celeborn led a group to fight Sauron's wrath and managed to hold his position long enough before Elrond arrived with reinforcements. The elves fought fiercely, but Sauron's army was much larger and they had to pull back, leaving Orisian to its doomed fate. Celeborn and Galadriel then went to Lothlorien, not as rulers but as fleeing allies. Note that in some of Tolkien's books it is said that Galadriel and Celeborn went together to Lothlorien, however in other notes it is said that at first only one of them went and the other followed shortly after. After taking Celeborn and Galadriel as their lord and lady, Lothlorien had to endure a total of 3 attacks from Sauron during the War of the Ring. However, Galadriel had one of the 3 rings of power, and her protection rendered Mordor powerless unless Sauron himself were to attack. After the failed assaults, Celeborn and Galadriel decided to strike back and launched a successful attack on Dol Guldur, supported by the White Council. After the War of the Ring, Galadriel left for Valinor alone, leaving Celeborn to rule the elves of Lothlorien by himself. Eventually, Lothlorien was depopulated, mostly caused by the elves leaving for Valinor. However, the depopulation must have also been caused by a reason undecided by Tolkien, as several thousand Galadrims were left by the end of the War of the Ring. Alright guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. It was decided by Devilius, but we also want your suggestions, so we're not deciding every week. If you do have a suggestion for a video, just either PM me or leave a suggestion in the comments below. That's it. See you later.